turn that on and try and think of what the hell I'm going to say, because we've got plenty of time, as you can see there. All right, it's time to con myself into thinking I'm vaguely professional.
I feel ya.
Yeah, none of this is making it.
No, this is the video, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a director's cut.
That's
Oh
it.
boy, all right. How are we doing, everyone? I am here with Toby from the New South Wales team, and he's proven to be a bit of an unsung star in the competition this season, so great to have you on board. I'm talking.
Take two.
We have fun. So I brought Toby on board because obviously I don't really know a whole lot about the New South Wales system, and I thought it'd be great to have someone who's experienced with wheelchair footy in New South Wales to tell their story. So Toby, I suppose how'd you get started in the system?
First time I actually got involved at all was Nationals 2023 here in Melbourne.
Yep.
I got a phone call from the head coach and said, "Look, I've got your number off a friend of a friend. Are you interested in playing?" I went, "Oh, what's AFL like in a wheelchair? What's that look like?"
I thought you meant what's AFL because you're from New South Wales.
Well, hey, honestly, I've seen about 3 games of AFL before that, and it was Sydney Swans grand finals, so that's about it. But they're few and far between with them. But
I was going to say I'm an Adelaide fan. We don't know what a grand final is anymore.
yeah, it's definitely like that at times, isn't it? But so I got involved then. Hit me up and sort of asked me what my skill level was and where I sort of see myself in our team. And I didn't actually get to make it to the trials that year. And he sort of said, "Well, this person has played with us before and I know his skill level. You know him from a wheelchair rugby league background. Where do you fit with him?" And I said, "Well, this is my skill set, this is his. We're probably pretty comparable players, just different skills." He said, "Mate, if that's where you're at, I'd love to have you on board." So I ended up making the team without trialling, which wasn't necessarily fair to some, but it worked out well for him in the end. But yeah, I played down there, and first time actually holding an AFL ball outside of the schoolyard was in that game. The very first game, I'd never grabbed one before, and he said, "Mate, we'll throw you in the backs and see how you go." So I ended up, I think I played 3 or 4 games in the backs. So I said, "Mate, I'm a wheelchair rugby league player. I know how to kick the footy. Give me the footy up in the forwards." So he put me in the forwards. I ended up getting leading goal scorer in Division 2 and made All-Australian that year. Still had no idea what I was doing by the end of it. But if you push hard enough, you make the right leads and kick a few goals, it works out for you.
Oh, excellent.
So that's sort of where I got involved in the sport, and come a long way since then. I actually run a hub in Wagga Wagga where I'm from. So I'm the hub leader there for AFL and basketball. So we do a multi-sport hub, and run that hub there and try and bring some young fellas through.
Nice. So I suppose with the system, because there's no dedicated leagues at the moment in Sydney, is that correct?
Yeah, so there's no dedicated leagues. What we sort of do is we have multiple hubs sort of scattered around New South Wales. So I think next year we'll move up to 9 hubs, which is awesome. So at the minute I think we're about 4 or 5.
Yep.
And the plan is to have 9 in place sort of this time next year, have them all in full swing and have more competition for spots, which will be exciting.
Excellent.
There's the way the setup is at the minute is basically there's hubs and we do country championships.
Yep.
So Sydney will do their own, and then regional New South Wales will do one with Canberra. So Canberra has a hub, Wagga has a hub, Temora, and there's a couple others sort of scattered throughout Sydney. Newcastle's coming in next year, so that'll be good. But once all the hubs are set up and established, we'll need to do a bit bigger of an event. But at the minute, it's sort of we'll have a round in Wagga, a round in Canberra, a round in Temora, and then we'll sort of all travel to each other, have a bit of a game, try and build up the confidence level of all the players that are starting to develop skills, and just try and hone the skills in a little bit. And then Sydney do the same thing with their hubs up there. So, and then this year we had our first sort of state championships. We all met in Goulburn, which is pretty central for everyone, and met in Goulburn there, and we all got together. I think we had 4 teams compete there. So everyone sort of jumped in the team and we split them up, trying to get the talent a bit across so one team didn't dominate too much. But we played there in Goulburn, and that was our state championships that acted as our trial for our state team.
Awesome.
So it's definitely a massive step to where we have been in the past and moving in the right direction.
Solid. So I hear the Giants and Swans have had sort of involvements with the wheelchair scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how's that work?
So basically they've come on board and got a heap of jerseys and that for us. So when we played at our state championships, we had 2 Giants teams, 2 Swans teams. I know the Sydney-based players get a lot more of that than what the country do, which that's sort of how these things work, unfortunately. But where they are is where they are. So Giants do a lot within the communities, within regional areas, but wheelchair hasn't quite reached there yet. So hoping that comes in the future, but we'll work with what we have for now. But as far as their input, they're providing different materials that we can use to help increase the sport. I know there was a bit of funding on that here and there, just to try and help with court hire and all the stuff that people don't really think about behind the scenes. It's all well and good to have players that want to jump in and play, but if you don't have volunteers, you don't have funding, you don't get anywhere. So the funding helps, and I know there has been players from the Swans and Giants come down and help out with events.
Oh, nice.
So I couldn't tell you the players' names because I'm not an AFL person, unfortunately.
I
Sorry,
thought you were
boys.
swearing them to secrecy.
No, definitely
Callum
not
Brown's
that.
come down and made you sign an NDA.
I'm like, I don't know who anyone is, so unless they're from my area, it's I've got no chance of telling you what their names are.
Best player from New South Wales doesn't know what footy is.
I'm bad, mate, I'll tell you.
You live up to the stereotypes. I think.
I know who Toby Green is. He's got the same name as me.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Well, there's plenty of Tobys in Sydney actually. Toby McMullen, if he's still there, I don't know. Fact check for me in the future. If he's not, this gets cut.
I know who Harry Cunningham is. I played footy against his brother as a kid, but
Oh right.
it's apart from that, I can't tell you too many players, mate. It's bad, but yeah.
So coming into this tournament, right, so last year was probably a bit of a building year.
Yep.
I think if I'm correct, because I've heard that there are a couple of results that were not the closest.
Definitely.
No judgment. I've been in plenty of teams that have been blown out myself. Some of them are on YouTube. Check out UTS putting a record haul past me in the bloody club gym.
I feel you, mate.
The hands shaking thinking about that. But coming into this year,
Yep.
I want to talk through a couple of moments in particular.
Yep.
So Victoria.
Yep.
Right. Day one. I think this is it'll be your second game.
Yep, game 2.
Played SA.
Yeah, we played WA first.
Oh, WA. Yeah, you played SA last.
We were very slow to start against them.
Yeah. So you come into the Victoria game.
Yep.
What's the mentality? Because I'm assuming you think going up against one of the best teams in the country, you think you're probably doing well if you can hang with them. But you get to half time and you're ahead.
Yep.
What's the mood like in that circle?
Mate, everyone was buzzing at half time. It's one of our big things is we don't worry about who we're playing. We worry about us, and I know it's a very cliche thing that you don't worry about the opposition, you worry about yourselves because that's a controllable, right? So we worry about what we can control. Myself as a captain, my job is to echo the coach's message. And our coach said to us before that game, don't worry about who it is, get out there, stick to our game plans, our structures, and we'll be okay. Half time, he said to us, I know I said don't look at the scoreboard, take a look at that bloody scoreboard. A few other explicit words, but he said take a look at that scoreboard, take it in. And we sort of had a bit of a glance up over our shoulders and went, hang on, are we up? And he goes, we're up. And he said, so let's use that into the second half and let's keep going. And to be fair, I think Victoria didn't play their best game that game. They weren't completing where they probably should be, and I think they were aware of that. Their coach wasn't real happy at halftime, which it's New South Wales team. For most of them teams, them bigger clubs, that's normally a game that they circle and go, hey, we can rest a few players.
Yeah.
And that's what it has been. So for them to have to react to that at halftime, they've put their best players on for that second half, and it took that for them to stop us. From memory, I think there was a minute and a half to go and we were still in front.
Yes.
So we let the game slip and we were very annoyed about that. Myself and the forwards,
I was going to say that wasn't your right. Yeah.
I missed a few in that game that I shouldn't have got, and there was a few little things in that game that we've definitely learnt from moving forward. But the fact that we don't have a lot of opportunity to be playing AFL in a competitive level, like the Golden Championships was basically our main hit out. Our club championships is about growing players. Them sorts of games I coach.
Yeah.
So I coach them games. I get involved and have a bit of a roll around, but I'm not playing full on. It's more for them players to try and get an opportunity and build them up as well.
Because you don't want to be going up against a brick wall if you're a rookie.
Mate, there's myself and a few other players based in sort of our Wagga hub. Young Jai Kuma, who's just been outstanding this week. Like, he's a 15-year-old kid that I think a few people here are going, who's his kid? Like, he's a very talented wheelchair player. I've got him involved in 3 wheelchair sports now, and everything he touches is just gold. Like, he's got the right attitude and he just learns. He's a sponge. That's what I love about him. But there's myself, him, and my brother-in-law, Zach Carl, who played at the 23 Nationals as well. He's a freak in a wheelchair, and he wasn't able to make it this week due to work commitments, unfortunately. But when we try and play together at them events, we could put 150 points on in 5 minutes of footy against the players that we're playing, but that's not what them events are for. They're for building. So when we get to the championships, that's our first real hit out. So, and then we sort of rotate positions because everyone wants to be forward, everyone wants to kick goals. That's, everyone wants to be the glory player. So I actually played forward in our championships for about 10 minutes total. I didn't play any forwards besides that. I was playing back most of the time and just letting everyone else kick the goals and just controlling it from back there. So when Danny said to me, "Oh, mate, probably going to have to throw you forwards," and I don't know, mate. I don't know how good my kicks are going to be, but I think we've straightened it up throughout the tournament. Our last game in that semi-final against Northern Territory, I think we kicked 12 behinds or something. It was pretty ordinary from us, but I didn't get to play in the game, unfortunately. So we'll take the lessons we've learned today and build it on tomorrow anyway.
Right, well, one more thing. That's going on the gag reel.
I don't want to know what that is.
So one more. Try to be professional, you bastard. Okay. Oh God, we have fun. One more thing I want to sort of touch on, I guess, from this tournament. So, coming into the last game, you're sitting 4th. Unlikely scenario of, I think WA had to lose against NT from memory, and you had to beat SA. Queensland, and you had to beat SA. But still, to be sitting in 4th place as a sort of smaller market team, let's say, like a more developing sort of side, before the final game, that had to have surpassed like the team's wildest expectations.
Mate, to be honest, we've actually set really high standards this year.
All right.
So our goal as a team coming into this event was Tier 1. Tier 1 is, and everyone says that, but we truly believed it was achievable with what we had. Like everyone sort of thought we were going to be pushovers, and the toughest teams here, we've challenged. And we're so proud of that effort, but Tier 1 was our goal coming into this, not, you could sit here and say, take out Division 2, that's our goal, or be in the grand final of Division 2. And that's probably fair for where people have New South Wales and ACT City, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that coming into the tournament. But I think we've proven now that we can compete with these Tier 1 sides with a little bit more polish on our kicks, and our completions will be there next year, and that'll be our goal next year. We finished in Division 2 this weekend. Next year, Division 1 is where we are. For us, we have to be there, we have to be competitive, and we have to be pushing these other teams. And, we want them to be better, we want them to be harder. But if we're coming up, they're going to be looking over their shoulder at us, and they're going to be thinking twice when they're playing us, which is what we want to achieve.
Exactly.
100%, mate. And, by making them more competitive and them spots are harder to get into, it's only going to build. Like this year, we've got 3 debutant players that have never played at this level or anywhere near it. So Victoria Simpson, who's in our team, she's a low pointer.
Yep.
She's female, so 1 point reduction. She's a 1 pointer as it is.
She's number 3, yeah?
I believe so.
Yeah, she came. I remember she came on against SA.
Yep.
And did a really good job in the second half.
Mate, she's a basketballer, plays in the Australian basketball team. She's an amazing wheelchair athlete, does her role perfectly. Comes in, she's only going to be the best player, but she's going to be the best role player. And and because of the basketball background and skills, she knows how to lock a chair down. So she comes on the field, mate, she locks up some of the better players. And she's only quite small in a chair. Like she doesn't have a tall chair height like a lot of the basketballers do. But being a low pointer, she's used to being that player just to get in the way. So she does that so well. She just gets in the way and builds on that. Lewis Robinson from Sydney, it's his first year here as well. So he's a 4-pointer. Lewis has come in sort of as a bit of a utility for us to fill in where we're lacking. So if our defence needs a bit of work, he'll jump in the defence. If we need a bit up in front, he'll come in front. He was meant to be sort of a utility player. He's now in our main starting five. So he's sort of earned that spot over the first day. And now that's sort of, that's his role now. He's in there as a defensive player and he's one of our better defenders right now. And then young Jai, like a 15-year-old kid who I've already spoke about.
He was incredible.
There's all the talent in the world there, and at 15 he's only going to be getting better with age. As his skills improve and his knowledge improves, he'll just get better and better each year. So like myself and Chris O'Brien, we didn't get to play last year here as well. So we've only got 3 players who actually played here last year in this team this year. So it's a very different looking team, and I think it's sort of proven that with the way we're playing. So there's still a lot of areas we want to work on and improve, but I think we're definitely building the right foundations to move forward.
And that's what you need. You need the solid foundations to start building.
Exactly, mate. And like we look at Queensland, they've got a full competition going at the minute, and we play them tomorrow, so I'm not going to sit here and be too cocky. But we made them work so hard in that game we played against them. We managed to come out on top, and we didn't have our best game. There was a lot of things we were doing wrong in that game, and our coach Danny wasn't pleased with our performance, even though we got the win. So last game on day one, we just needed to get a win under the belt. We were 3-0 with losses. We did versus the top teams. We had Tassie, WA, and Vic all in that day. Finished off with Queensland. New South Wales versus Queensland, bit of a grudge match. That was one we had circled that's a must-win for us.
Yep.
Managed to get the win, and that's what was important in that game. But we know they're going to be coming out for a bit of blood tomorrow. So building into that game, they're on what day is it tomorrow?
Thursday.
I went to say Sunday.
No, I know it feels like a weekend, doesn't it?
I don't know where I'm at. I'm not at work, I'm confused.
Yeah, we're going to be going back to work on Friday. Yeah. It's going to be one day.
Oh, yeah. But building into that game on Thursday, mate, I've already had a few conversations with a couple of their players, and they're very confident they know what it takes to beat us. So we're just going to take on what we've learnt throughout the tournament from ourselves. We know what they're going to do. We know how they're going to do it. That's sweet. Don't care about that. I care about what we're doing. We're going to work on us, and we're going to be out there tomorrow morning, tomorrow lunchtime when we play, and we're going to be trying to lift that trophy at the end, and that'll be step 1 complete. Step 2 is building up into next year, and then try and be in that Division 1 next year.
Awesome. So. And one final thing, I want to ask you about the whirlpool. Because I've heard that shouted out from the bench. I had a brief conversation with the Big Cheese about it.
Yep.
Tell us about the whirlpool.
Mate, the whirlpool is basically, so rugby league we have a term that we like to use sort of defensively, and it's you're in the washing machine. So it's more everything is coming in together and it's starting to spin. Everyone's going here, there and everywhere, and no one's steering that shit. So when our coach will be on out from the sideline, whirlpool, that's when our leaders in that team need to step up, they need to control it, and they need to slow it down. It's all about stabilising the ship. When he's saying whirlpool, it's just everything's spinning. So we're sort of chasing the ball a bit much, we're losing our heads, we're not focusing on our role, and that's when our leaders need to step up and go, okay, we need to slow it down. So it's been hard for myself. I haven't played the last 3 games, so little injury, got that sorted, I should be right to go tomorrow. But without me on that field, I'm sort of the main voice in our team. Matt Hannon is great at sitting in fullback there for us. He's an experienced head who loves his footy, and he's our sort of AFL head in our team. He's the biggest AFL boy in our team.
So the only way he knows the sport.
Mate,
I've got to stop playing those stereotypes.
No, but he is. He's the one who bleeds AFL. He's from Finley, and it's just AFL mad out that way. So a lot of us I think we've got 5 players in our team that have rugby league background. So it's one of them things we don't fully understand the sport, and we're all learning at the same time. So to be able to achieve what we are while learning the sport and only having one person who fully understands, that's our biggest thing. Is once we understand the sport and we sort of live it a bit more, a lot of these, your Vic, your Taz, SA, WA, they live and breathe AFL. A lot of our players, it's their first time holding the ball. So when you have that into perspective, like, you know, our job is to get out there, rustle some feathers and be competitive, and I think we're doing that pretty well, but we want to be better. We want to be one of them teams that people don't want to play. That's sort of our goal for the next couple of years.
And it's looking like you're going to get there too.
I hope so, mate. I really do. I know, like our, you know, state AFL and wheelchair programs, they really want to have it as a highlighted event that they want to host. They want to bring it, whether it's Sydney, whether it's, you know, bringing out rural a little bit somewhere. They want to bring it to New South Wales and, you know, showcase the sport for what it is. And it's not a sport that's massive for AFL as far as the top level goes. You do have the Giants and Swans, obviously, but it's not a Melbourne or a, you know, WA, South Australia that has multiple teams. But they want to bring the sport there, and the only way for that to happen is by us making achievements throughout the sport and making it a place where people go, you know what, New South Wales deserve to host this event, and we need to do that for them to repay them for what they've given us. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, well, best of luck with that, Toby. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it, mate. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for yours.
We're here together.
Cut to the studio or whatever the equivalent is. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
We never do we?
Thank you so much. That was it. No, that's awesome, man. That is a lot of usable content.